Could Teen Gojo clear Sendai? Well, let's see. For starters, I'd like to say that I'm going to be talking about Gojo before Toji, because after Toji, he was a different kind of beast. He had RCT, red, purple. Now, his abilities, his skills were on another level, and so I'm going to be focusing on him with blue and nothing else. And well, infinity in its neutral state. But I won't be talking about this Gojo that was exhausted, that had a stab of a sword in his chest and everything else. Like, I'm going to be talking about a Teen Gojo full potential, like at his maximum. And let me say that this Gojo, with just this kit, is a monster. Even if he can't heal or use a domain, he's very dangerous just with blue, infinity, and Fallen Blossom emotion. Like, that's all he needs. Let's say that Gojo gets into Sendai like Yuta, an outsider that just came to clear all this colony. Well, his first opponent is Droop. I think Droop's technique could be useful to bypass infinity, but we don't have any kind of information about him other than this, and that Yuta defeated him without revealing any impressive technique at all, like just with his reinforcement and his sword, he cleared him. So yeah, I think Teen Gojo can defeat Droop very easily. Then Teen Gojo would have to face Kururushi with all the cockroaches and the Fester Life Blade and everything that comes with it. But the thing is that all of those things are useless against him, because infinity is there. He's going to be walking around or just using blue to destroy every cockroach that he sees, including Kururushi himself. Even if he doesn't have the RCT to output and exorcise Kururushi in one hit, he could use a maximum output blue or just a lot of blues. I don't know. He could surpass Kururushi very easily because he can't bypass infinity. Things would get very interesting when Uro showed up, because she showed up, then Ryu showed up, and those two have domains. But well, I'll begin with Uro. I don't think that her technique can bypass infinity, because she distorts the perspective, but she doesn't hurt any content inside the sky manipulation. So I don't think that her grabbing a surface of the sky and then bending it would actually harm Gojo in any sense. Even with her Thin Ice Missile, I don't think that it would bypass infinity, because she would be grasping a layer or a surface of the sky that won't be touching Gojo. Like, she would think that she's getting it, but between Gojo and Uro grabbing that surface of the sky, there would be another surface of the sky that she wouldn't notice because infinity. Like, that's all. The distance between them would always avoid Uro from destroying the sky surface that is touching Gojo. It's difficult to explain, but that's like the concept that I have on my mind. Ah! And Ryu, yeah, this guy won't be able to do anything at all against Gojo, because infinity is up there, his blasts aren't going to bypass it by any way. So Ryu is just here for his domain, really. I don't see him bypassing infinity by any means. Like, he will be shooting Granite Blast after Granite Blast or punching, and he would never be able to touch him. So, let's get to the interesting part. Let's say that these two decided to use the domain expansion because they've been getting hurt from Gojo and fighting each other and everything else, and they use their domains. What would happen? First, even if Gojo doesn't have a domain, he has an anti-domain technique, but I don't think that Fallen Blossom emotion would nullify any of the sure hits that hit him. Like, I don't think that if the sure hits land, he would be unscathed. I just think that he would lose if it was a 1v1. But against two opponents, there would be a domain clash. As we know, when the domains clash, no one is the owner of the barrier. They're competing for it. So, even if Gojo doesn't have a domain, he doesn't have to, because Uro's and Ryu's domain will be nullifying each other, so the sure hit won't land. There won't be a sure hit. It's like Megumi versus Dagon. So in that situation, yeah, Gojo has the advantage. Because Infinity would be up, the sure hits would be turned down, and they would be boosted up, yeah. They would have like a buff, Ryu and Uro, but nothing else, nothing to be worried about. So yeah. And aside from that, there's Kurorushi 2.0, or the son of Kurorushi, or whatever you want to call it. If he destroys the barrier, that's it. The battle's over. The fight's over, because he doesn't have a way to bypass Infinity without his domain. He doesn't have a way. She doesn't have a way. So they're screwed. And everything that I talk about is ignoring the fact that if Gojo, Teen Gojo, has simple domain, he would screw them very, very hard. Very. Because even if one of them, only one of them, use that domain against him, he could only use simple domain, and yeah, Infinity would be up, so then maximum output blue or whatever he wants. And if his simple domain falls, he could cast another and repeat the cycle, just destroying them with blue. Yeah. But since we don't actually know if he had simple domain then, I'm not taking that into account by any measure, like at all. Just I think that it was a fun scenario to think about. But yeah, I actually think that Teen Gojo could clear Sendai, mostly because it's a free-for-all and not a 1v1. If it was a 1v1, I think that Uro or Ryu would have the advantage for the domain and the sure hits. But because it's a free-for-all, they would be fighting each other and not as a team. So he would have the advantage because his course technique is a lot of way better than theirs. So that would be all. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave me a like before you go and leave your opinion on the comments down below. And see you next time. Bye bye.